Kenya President William Ruto is expected in Mandera County this weekend against the backdrop of a promise he made in February about the reopening of the border post between Kenya and Somalia after a 15-year closure. While the border post hasn't yet been reopened, NTV's South Rift editor Bridget Ngana visited the post and spoke with diplomacy experts on what this means for Kenya-Somalia relations that have been blowing hot and cold over time due to the security threat posed by the Al-Shabaab terror group.
Security officials patrol the abandoned Mandera border post compound, a routine that has been done since 2011 when the Kenya Defense Forces went into Somalia as a counter-response to the terror attacks launched by the Al-Shabaab on Kenyan soil. The absence of life on the Kenyan side of the border and the shells of vehicles bearing bullet holes from past Al-Shabaab attacks are a reminder of how delicate the security situation is here. But on the Somalia side of the border, life is moving on. This gate has remained shut for 15 years following a series of terror attacks launched by the Al-Shabaab terror group based in Somalia.
The whole idea behind the closure was because of the increased insecurity in the region. We had a lot of Al-Shabaab attacks, a lot of insecurity occurring within the region. So one of the ways the security agencies thought would be prudent was to stem the flow of people coming in from the Somali side.
But when President William Ruto visited Mandera early this year, he promised that the border gates will be shut no more.
Na biashara haiwezi kufanyika kama mipaka yetu imefungwa. Kwa hivyo, mimi narudi hapa mwezi wa 4 kuja kufungua ile border post.
While the president's remarks were met with a resounding applause, there are those who feel the reopening of the border could be premature due to the lack of a stable government in Mogadishu.
Sipendi hiyo border ifunguliwe kabisa. Kwa maoni yangu, kwa vile border ikifunguliwa maneno nyingi itaharibika. Mambo wagaidi wataingia tauni.
But diplomacy experts believe that security agencies in Kenya are confident that they can now handle any threats that may arise from that side of the Kenya-Somali border. And it's a decision that has been arrived at with the approval of both Nairobi and Mogadishu.
It is in good faith that the border is being reopened. It is good for the two countries, but that comes with those risks like we're talking about. We could have one or two bad elements slipping in and causing chaos on the Kenyan side.
So what does this mean going forward now that Somalia is a member of the East African community?
The positive gains, definitely we can expect to see a lot of movement. Remember, we're talking about one community that has just been, it was this European demarcated borders that separated these communities. So you'll have Kenyans who have relatives on the Somali side and vice versa, so they'll visit each other. A lot of trade, I expect a lot of trade to increase.
This is not the first time decisions to reopen the Mandera border post have been arrived at. In 2023, when Somalia joined the East African community, the border was to be reopened, but re-emergence of attacks targeting security personnel in Kenya led to that decision being shelved until this year.
Remember, the people living in Mandera have relatives living in Somalia. These are big, they have socioeconomic ties. So both countries want this border to be opened because it is a win-win situation for both of them.
For more than a decade, this gate here at the Mandera border post has been shut due to what was then a prevailing security concern between Kenya and Somalia. But in a month's time, this gate will swing open, connecting communities between Somalia and Kenya. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Mandera County.